be curious. Don't hesitate to ask, and study and learn. And it seems like a very difficult decision, but it was the easiest one that I ever made. Look like this, and Xavi, Luis Enrique, Rafa Marquez complaining, or like, okay, I'm fine, I'm good. Thank you, guys. I didn't pay him.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Football in the Trenches, another series. Today we're here with Manel Exposito. Very, very, very well traveled. I mean, traveled with a capital T gentleman who is a coach, an analyst. We're going to find out about his very interesting career as a player and as staff. And we're looking to Manel as our new episode of interesting careers that have done a lot in our wonderful sport of football. Welcome, Manel.
Yeah, well, thank you. Hi, everyone.
We are sponsored by Game Insight, which is a new platform, which is a career building tools platform for coaches and players, also an education platform for coaches and players that's going to be launched very, very soon for the English language world. And welcome to today's podcast. We're here with José as well. Interesting thing about you, Manel, is that you started, you had your debut in FC Barcelona in 2003 alongside none other than Leo Messi on the same day against José Mourinho's Porto. It's a fantastic start to any football career. So we want to hear all about that. And thanks a lot for joining us.
No worries. Thanks to you for thinking on me and counting on me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, well, Manel as well had over 90 Spanish Football League appearances, over 25 appearances in the Belgian Football League, and over 60 appearances for the biggest club in New Zealand, Auckland City. Manel has just finished this season as a coach in Belgium's highest tier with Eupen and has his sights set on the upcoming Euro Cup as a football analyst with the Belgium national team. Interesting enough, Manel, I don't even know if you know this yourself, but you were my direct opponent when I made my debut in the First League of New Zealand. It was my first time playing in the First League of New Zealand. We don't have to speak about the result, but I was playing centre back. You played striker. I saw on your YouTube channel as well the highlights of that. You scored a couple of goals, maybe too many than I wanted, but that's a little interesting connection there.
And it is. That's right. Beautiful New Zealand. Huh?
Yeah.
Great country.
We're going to start with, as we always do, a rapid fire question section. So basically the format of this is short questions with short answers. We're going to begin with, who was your favorite player growing up?
My favorite player growing up? I had a few ones, but when I was very, very little, was Marco van Basten.
Good choice.
Who is the best manager you've played for?
The best manager I played for? Nowadays, there are a lot that will. I had on my last year of career, I had Jordi, that now was also my mentor, and now is the one who retired me, actually. He was very, very strong on tactical. And then I had also Luis Garcia, that is now coaching Mallorca, and then close to promote to First Division in Spain, and he was my coach when we did also playoff to promote to Second Division. And those years were very interesting. And then also obviously Ramon was a big influence for me also when I went to New Zealand, because of all the situation and how the crisis was in Spain. And Ramon had very good ideas of the kind of football I grew up in La Masia, also in the Spanish style, the Barcelona style. These three, I can say.
Very nice. And who would you say is the best player that you've played with?
That I played with and I trained with only one time. Wow. Now obviously is Messi, of course.
Yeah.
But I was able also to enjoy trainings and some friendly games with Ronaldinho on that time. It was amazing.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
You don't need more than that, to be honest.
Best in the world.
And who is the best player that you've coached so far?
Best player I coached so far. I have a couple of in Eupen, because I only coach in Eupen. We had a few young talents from our project. Eupen has a project in Africa and Aspire Academy in Qatar, and they were two very interesting young players. And now one is playing for I think it's in Fenerbahce, Henry Onyekuru, a Nigerian winger striker, very fast, lethal in transition, and also another player that you guys will see in the World Cup, and he'll probably be one of the captains of Qatar national team, Akram Afif. These two were the most talented young players that I coached now.
And through researching a little bit and creating these questions for the podcast, I saw quite a few of your playing highlights. Do you have a favorite goal out of the many you scored, especially against me in New Zealand? Do you have one that sticks in your mind that's a favorite of yours, a favorite memory?
I can say two. One was playing for the playoff to promote to second division, second A in Spain. And on the playoff, I scored one good goal with my left foot that I use only to step out of the bus from long distance left shoot. That was one of the ones I remember very well. And also my first season in Auckland City, on the final of the Oceania Champion League, when I scored at QTS Street, also one good goal that I do a couple of contours with outside of the foot, and then I finished with my left also foot. That one was I remember that one also good because it was the first time that I traveled opposite side of the world, and then we won the Champion League, and that allowed us to play to go to the Club World Cup. That was, for me, was an amazing experience.
Awesome. What is your favorite beach in Catalonia?
Favorite beach in Catalonia. Well, I can say now here, right next to my hometown here in Calonja. But there is a lot of little small, I don't know how you say, little beaches that you go with a boat, and you can see all the Costa Brava here. It's very, very difficult to pick one spot here in the Costa Brava.
The political answer.
I was hoping you wouldn't say Ostend.
Not a beach. If any Belgium are listening, sorry, but what I understand as a beach, that's not in Belgium.
My Belgian friends are listening, and that's why I'm reminding them. There we go.
What is your favorite meal?
My favorite meal, paella.
Do you have a favorite movie?
Favorite movie? No, actually, I don't have a favorite movie, but I watch a lot of them, all of them. Well, now less, because when I play, I watch a lot of movies and series. Now that I went to the other side, I don't have time to watch the TV. There's no.
So
TV.
we'll put that down as Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit then, yeah?
Because I was
New Zealand documentary here.
I honestly, I like to watch any kind of everything with my wife, and even Disney. I can say I love Disney. Aladdin.
Yeah.
And The Lion King.
The flying carpet.
Yes.
Who is your favorite current player who's still playing?
Messi.
Yes. And if you could coach in any other sport, not being football, what would it be?
Interesting question. Never thought about that, but I probably love to coach NBA.
Basketball, eh?
Yes.
And if you weren't involved in football growing up, what do you think you would have ended up doing?
Probably something related to sports, because I always like my parents play handball, and they try to put me always the ball in my hands, but I always got it down. So, and then I study science and sports degree, so probably something related to education and sports.
Awesome. Cheers for that. That ends the section of the rapid fire questions.
Perfect.
Manel, tell us a little bit about your experiences now coaching in Belgium at the highest level. How has that been?
Well, it's been at the beginning it was because just as soon as I retired, I start directly to as assistant coach, and that first step was strange to set up because all of the players that they were on the team, they were my teammates. So I had to. I've never been an assistant coach or anyone that wants to impose and to be and now I'm the coach and I decide. I've never been like that. So in that terms, it was very easy and everyone quite understood that because on that time, my last 2 years as a player was also one of the captains of the team. So the transition was a little bit natural and everyone respect that transition. Obviously, I could not go to have dinner with them and I had to cut that. No more dinners together and no more kind of relation together like that, and it was hard because one of the players or one of the strikers, I was his best man on his wedding, so was kind of my best friend. And then I could not. I went with him, but not as much as I went before. And then the good thing that I experienced in Belgium, apart from all the evolution that the video analysis took place in the league and in our club also, is the variability of playing systems that they use in Belgium. There is a very rich league in terms of playing systems and tactical. It's very, very interesting because it's in Spain is more rigid. It's more the tactical. It's more ABC rigid, and everyone is in Belgium. You can find any kind of system. Everyone and in the same game, the coaches swap to two different systems, three different systems that build up. They change the formation. It's very, very rich in terms of tactical analysis.
Simple, yeah, definitely. That's an interesting point. Manel, how has Belgian football been transforming? How does it continue to transform in the wake of this massive talent explosion that it had in the country, with all of the international stars? I mean, a national team full of talent, but also a lot of exports. Belgium was not as big of an export country previously. What's going on in the league system with all of that? Is there more focus on youth development? Has the approach changed?
Well, I think it's yes. The Belgian Federation they change their way of growing and seeing football when they recruit Roberto Martinez. I think that was a big impact on obviously on the national team, as you can see with the results, but also in all the formation on the Belgium Federation. They changed the way they work. They had new approaches, new ideas, and they transform everything into make sure that the league grows up also accordingly to the national team. And there are a lot of good academies in Belgium, like Anderlecht, Anderlecht, Ghent, a lot of good clubs, and I think it's all related to the investment also that the federation did on the league. Because when I first started as assistant coach, we work with CDs and footage from TV that we get from here, from there, with my analyst that went to film himself the games, and they did a massive investment in terms of new camera systems, footage programs, analysis. The federation invest because when they finish third on the World Cup, normally there is a difference of budget that the Belgian Federation didn't expect, and instead of sharing, because they share the budget with the clubs or with the federation, instead of doing this, Roberto Martinez, his staff, and the guys from the federation, they decide to, instead of sharing again and giving back this money to the clubs, take this difference of money and invest in the thing that Belgium didn't have, as wide angle cameras, analysis, and all these new technologies that made the league an impact to the league and to the players, obviously. And then it's true that there is a league that exports a lot of players, especially to England and French. There is a lot now of young talents. And I don't know, I think because the national team obviously is doing so well, this opened this to the world. Everyone is looking a little bit more to Belgium. The league every year gets more and more professional. Every year gets more and more exigent and competitive. And this is attractive also for other clubs. Also, we have a lot of players that they come on loan from Stoke City, from different countries. And I think it's a good league to make sure that the young players that they have not many minutes in bigger leagues, they can explode the talent and then get back again to their teams.
I think a testament of quality of the leagues, as you mentioned also, is that you can't predict the table at all. I mean, Anderlecht, Liège, both have struggled in recent years. New teams, newly promoted, do really, really well. Yes. So there's a real shuffle. It's very hard to tell how it's going to look at the end of the season.
Yes, and you need to think also. You need to see that in Belgium is I think 90% of the teams are owned also by the owners are not from Belgium. Like for example, our team Eupen is we have a lot of foreign investors on the teams, and this also makes it's normal, more money, better players, better quality, better everything grows up. And teams like Anderlecht, it's true that they and a Standard Liège, they rechange a little bit the way of how they work, and this takes time. It's not that in Belgium you see the typical team like Bruges, Anderlecht, Standard, they have an amazing academies, and then you see teams like us that the bottom teams where foreign investors are putting some money, and this makes sometimes that, as you say, not always, except for Bruges, that they are one step away from everyone, Champions League, in terms of budget, players, quality, facilities. This team is out of the whole league. The rest, look, this year we won Anderlecht 2-0 at home, and we draw one in Anderlecht. For us, this is you see, this 5 years ago was impossible to dream about drawing one game against Anderlecht. So it's true that, and new teams now, you see Ostende, now you see Leuven, that they didn't make it to the playoff, teams that they were normally like us in the bottom, and now they're fighting for a spot in the next Europa League.
Antwerp,
doing a great job in Antwerp. That Antwerp is a team that they have their own philosophy of playing, very, very, very close philosophy with a lot of physical impact mixed with good quality, but they're doing very well, and they're investing a lot of money also in Antwerp. They renew the whole stadium. They building an amazing stadium. So it's all about, as you say, if the investors come, and there's more money coming in. That reflects also on the facilities, new players, better players. Then you have it's more interesting to the eyes of every single one involved in this business.
Yeah, for sure. But Manel, we wanted to take you back a little bit now, back to your early days, and you know, would you be able to tell us in which environment you grew up in, whereabouts? Obviously in Catalonia, as we already spoke, but what environment was that like? Area, family? What was life like growing up for yourself?
Well, my life was on the street, but not because in Catalonia, where I live, I grew up in a small, not small, but in a city called Vic, and I was always playing football outside with my friends, always. And I was lucky enough to have like a kind of a square next to next to the building I lived, and I was always there, and until we didn't have iPhones or nothing. I had to call my friends and go to you come there, or we just join at the court and play football all day long, and then go to training and then study a little bit, and that was my childhood outside. Actually, the weather was good.
You're downplaying Vic because it's your hometown, but it's one of the most unknown and beautiful medieval market squares in Europe.
It is.
So
Lovely. It's
worth a visit for anybody.
It is. Yes, you are right. And yeah, that was my childhood. I was a little bit late in terms of going to Barcelona and going to join one academy, because on that time in Vic they had a good work on the youth on the academy, and it was not normal there were not many scouts, not many, obviously no cameras, no games. Now you go to under 11 games and you see 7 parents filming with the cameras and watching the on that time we play for fun. We didn't play I always knew that I wanted to be a football player, professional football player, but I played for fun until I was 14, 15. Then I started to play with the first team in 3rd division. And after that, I had the opportunity to go to Barcelona. For us, go to Barcelona was like, oh, we're going to Barcelona, big city, far away from. Yes.
1 hour.
1 hour, but for us, on that time with the roads, now we had direct roads. Before it was 1 hour 30, which let's say.
Yeah. South of Barcelona. You came from the north side. There you go.
Yes. I came from the mountains. So for us was, we're going to a big city, and so it was strange. And then when I went to Espanyol Barcelona with under 19. While I was playing also, it was kind of strange because I went to study in Barcelona, and I had the chance to go with under 19 in Espanyol and then play in 3rd division. By that time, it was quite young to be playing with professionals, and I don't know. And after that, I had a good year in Sant Andreu in Barcelona, and Barcelona signed me for 4 years, and everything started from there. A little bit later than everyone. I did not grow up in La Masia from 8 years old and did all the years in La Masia, but I was happy to be at home also.
Do you have anyone in particular that introduced you to football, or who was an early influence in you getting in the game, or was it just like you said, those pick-up street games, and you were just always involved in those?
There was actually no one in my family background that played football. Not my dad. My family come from Hamburg, so no one introduced me to football. Yes, was one of my uncles when I was very, very young. I was very fast at the school, and the physical teachers at the school told my family, maybe you can take him to athletics, to the fast athletics. But I didn't want to run. And I was always with the ball. I remember when I was a kid, always sleeping with the ball. And was my mom could not drive me to the athletics, to do athleticism. And my uncle was coaching one of under 8 teams in a village right next to Vic, and he tell my mom, no problem, I take him with me and he can run and kick the ball with me. And that year I scored, I think 60 or 70 goals with and I went to Vic and everything. But I started in Santa Eugenia. It's called. It's a very, very, very small village, 10 minutes away from Vic, and was my uncle who picked me up and took me there because my mom could not drive me. And because my mom could not drive me to athletics, that's when I start to play football. But I was always with the ball on my foot.
Yeah.
How was that? How was going from that level? How was it to go into La Masia and train in that system? How was the experience for you at a young age?
Well, at the beginning, it was tough. Even though I came from 2 clubs in Barcelona already, and in 2nd B and 3rd division, it was tough because I was the only new player that Barcelona B signed directly that year. Normally, you come up from under 19 Barcelona C and you go up to Barcelona B. I was on the only one signing from another team, but I don't know. Maybe because of the experience in those, I was involved with professional quite young. When I was 15, 16, I was playing for my village in third division. Then I went to second B, and that helped me a lot to grow up and be a little bit more mature early stage. So when I went to Barcelona, obviously at the beginning, I remember always the first day that you arrive there, you have the test, everything, the blood test, and you arrive and you see the clothes there actually with, yeah, you see the Barcelona, and then you say, well, okay, that's getting serious now. But no, the team was very nice. I still have a lot of very, very good friends, very close friends. Actually, yesterday one was here. Tomorrow is coming another one to visit me. So I keep in touch with, I can say 60% of the squad of that Barcelona B. So I had the good friends. I was lucky enough that they accept me well, and yes, it was tough at the beginning, but beautiful tough. It was not a bad experience at all, of course.
And it's very different groups. Some of them ended up as top footballers, and others didn't end up playing, right? So
it is like that. Some of them they retire very young because they struggle with the football. Some of them they never studied nothing. Some of, like me, I was lucky enough that my family pushed me a lot to keep studying, and I could share the university. So I study, I develop also myself. Some of them, as you say, they play a lot of years, beautiful careers in first division and overseas also. Like my friend who was here yesterday, he left Barcelona B and went directly to Barcelona. He played with the first team and went to Lazio directly in Italy. It was and he spent an amazing career in first division, different countries. And some players that never made it, and some like me that we were in between yes and no, no and yes. So there was a yeah. Of course, it's not easy to live from to live from football, and you guys know it well. It's very difficult to have a career, and there are a lot of ups and downs. And the most important is never give up and keep doing what you love. That at the end it pays back, but it's a difficult world. You know well.
who was we have to save the listeners the Google search. You have to tell us some of the names that were with you in that 81 class in La Masia.
Yeah, we had Jurquera, the goalkeeper that later played with the first team. Yeah. Ulaguer, that also played with the first team. Oscar Lopez, that was my friend who was yesterday with me, is the one who played with the first team also, and then he went to Lazio, Betis, and a lot of teams. Damian also, that he played also with the first team. We had a lot of David Garcia, he was later in first division, second division in Spain. Joan Verdu, also very good midfield, that he played in China, and Levante also, yes, of course. And then Sergio Garcia, the striker, that played in Espanyol also.
And Betis.
And yeah.
I'm a Betico. Yeah.
You are a Betico. Yeah. Oscar Lopez playing in Betis. Damian playing in Betis. I was at the stadium the day that they were relegated to second division, and it was a disaster. Actually, I could not leave the stadium for 3 hours. Because it was the supporters were destroying everything outside. The police blocked everything, and I had to take my friends out of the stadium on the boot of my car. So and I keep coming in and out, taking players in and out on the boot because the supporters wanted to kill them.
Oh yeah,
that was an horrendous experience. Yes.
But then obviously yourself as well, you ended up making your debut for the first team of Barcelona. How was that experience? Is there a little story there? How did you find out you were going to be selected in the squad and then eventually come on? How was that experience?
Oh, it was very, very, it was unbelievable. Of course, when normally they call you a lot, because before, now I didn't experience the new training grounds and system they have. Before, everything was based in the new camp, and we had the mini study, and the training field of the first team were next to our training field. So it was normal to go up and train with the first team, and then you change at your changing room on the Barca B, and then okay, today you guys you go to, and they told you on the same you arrive in the morning, guys, today the coach needs you too, so you're going to the first team. So it was normal for us to go and come back and see this. But when they told you that, look, you are going to Porto, you're going to play a friendly game, and you're going to travel with them, it is obviously an amazing new. And then at the beginning, I was supposed to play from the beginning, because it was Luis Garcia that he played for Liverpool later, that he was a little bit injured, but at the end he started playing. But after 17 minutes or 20 minutes, he say, don't change, and I came in. Yeah, I came after 20 minutes. So it was when they told me go to warm up, and then you were there, because we arrived 1 hour 30 before, 1 hour before the game, and the stadium was already full because it was a big party. They were in the first game on the new stadium, and so they were doing things, and everything was full house from the first minute. So you go to warm up, and we are used to play on the second B with Barca B, that they are maybe 3,000. And you arrive there, okay, warm up, and
I saw your introduction I saw with your introduction the right back absolutely went through you as well.
I did, yeah, because I did a couple of not dribblings, but I started, as a young player. I was secretario, and that time I was already. And I start to run here and there, thing, and I think he thought, friendly game. They put now a young player. I'm going to show him. A minute that there's nothing to do here. And
he was getting old already, Secretario, back then. So
yeah, he was already old dog. So
the VAR at that time, red card. Yeah, my God.
if there is VAR now, on that time they had the VAR, that was because it was a friendly game. But I remember he tackled me up on the knee. Yeah. And I remember I was struggling. I looked like this, and Xavi, Luis Enrique, Rafa Marquez complaining. I was like, okay, I'm fine, I'm good. Thank you, guys.
You got up pretty quickly, to be fair.
Pain everywhere, but I was like, I'm okay, I'm good. Thank you, guys. They're looking after me, the big ones. But I had pain everywhere.
Yeah. But then obviously as well, through researching a little bit and also knowing your story previously before coming to New Zealand, you had an injury that had an influence over your football career early on as well, which you ended up having surgery for. And, there was a lot of delays in that process as well. What exactly happened there? Can you talk us through what that situation was?
Yeah, it was just for an injury that it should be gone in 3 months. I broke my fifth metatarsian. You call it? Yes. And I supposed to do a surgery for and after 3 months I go back to play normal. Just 3 months of and I end up without playing for 1 year and a half, nearly, with 2 more surgeries. The first one they did it bad, and then I had to go over into another doctor to redo it again and fix me again. But it was difficult times, because it was that period when I went a lot with the first team, and I was with the second first team doing well, and then that you never know. Maybe if I didn't get injured, maybe after 4 years, I will not be playing football. I don't know. You never know that what would happen if you. But that obviously stopped a lot the progression that I had, and then I could not accept. And that time was difficult for me to accept the situation. So I was totally unfit, because 1 year I went for a run, only just running on the stadium 10 minutes. It was impossible for me. After 6 months, every day I wake up when I put my foot on the ground, I had pain on my foot, and everyone was telling me, oh, God, maybe it's psychological, you are good, everything is okay. And I said, I'm not good, I have pain, I cannot run, I cannot this, until I went away to another doctor and find out that they put in a screw inside my bone, but it was not, the bone was not
attached.
So the screw was in between the bone was open, but outside looked normal, but inside it was open. So it was never fixed. And then I had to get another surgery, and normally you in 3 months, but I need 6 more to get back to normals, and then I start again. And when you lose 1 year and a half without full training, and it's very difficult to come back again to the normal. And then by that time, Barcelona told me, look, no, we need to loan you because we have no time for you, no space for you now to give you more minutes to get back again, playing time that you need. You need playing time, and here we cannot give you that privilege. So I had to search for new destinies.
How do you? I mean, the question there is how, it's a heavy. How did you deal with the psychological fallout? I mean, a young player, you had such a good trajectory. You get an injury. Can you recall? I mean, with time heals those thoughts. But how was it at the time, and how did you cope with it?
Very bad. And at that time, I didn't have the help of a professional to deal with these kind of situations. Where I didn't, because now there's that in the staff you have also psychologists and people that help players, coaches to understand better situations, to understand emotional intelligence, all these things that now they are on the market. Before, it was very strange to have that kind of help, and my family also didn't understand, also could not understand how I felt. Maybe I didn't express myself enough, so I closed into myself. And also the fact that the doctors told me that no worries, you are okay, you are okay, everything is right, the tests are good, and I feel pain. It was contradictory, and I'm not right, and I knew inside that something was wrong. I knew inside that, and it was very tough because I was against everyone, and everyone was telling me, oh, that maybe at the end it's in your mind that you cannot say, no, it's not in my I do really have a physical pain, but it was very, very tough, and I miss now looking back someone that could help me understand and deal with the emotional situation, because you are there. I didn't even wanted to watch TV, football on TV. I didn't even want to watch nothing. I banned football for my life. I tried to focus on my recovery, but it was very frustrating because the steps that I took, they were not right. So the worst thing that you can do with a player is not knowing if he's doing the right step, the right rehabilitation. And I doubt about everything. I doubt about the doctors. I doubt about everything. It was very tough in that moment, to be honest.
That's the worst steps that you could do with the players. Prescribe the wrong rehabilitation. I mean, that's really interesting. Yeah.
When we have players now that get injured, and we had a couple one that they went to surgery, I always told them and the doctors, guys, you need to have a clear picture of what you're going to face, how you're going to face, what you need to do to recover, what you need to do. Everything has to be very, very clear in your mind. And if you have doubts, go to another opinions, go to the doctors until you have your clear picture. The worst thing for the players is to don't have a clear, or a player that is coming back to train, is with a physical coach and is doubting about the exercises that he's doing. Is the worst thing that they can do. If a player doubts or is not fully confident on what he's doing is good for him, maybe it's good, or maybe not. I'm not talking, but if he's not fully confident, it's the worst thing that you can have, because you go backwards.
Yeah. And then to switch it up a little bit from there, yes. Through researching for the podcast, we got in touch with both of our former trainer, Ramon from Auckland City Football Club. And this is what Ramon had to say about yourself as a player. Ramon says, as a player, Manel was a very smart player, very good at running in the space behind the back line, and also very good in front of the keeper, a good finisher. He was smart how to go past a player in 1-versus-1 situations more than just using his speed. He was very quick anyway. He knew how to make a good decision to beat a defender. Also in defending, he had a good working rate later in his career. He learned how to sacrifice and was a very fit individual to do so. And as a person, Manel was one of those few ones that got on with everyone and was always good fun. He knew how to make people laugh and was a very good teammate. He was also a very good leader in bad situations, always trying to encourage teammates and always demanding high standards. So that's a few words from Ramon, our former trainer at Auckland City. I know he's back there in Spain as well.
You see, he's a good friend, yeah? I didn't pay him. Huh?
I also cut out the bad parts. Eh?
We had a few ones. We
But flowing on from that, what was your story of moving across to the other side of the world to play for Auckland City Football Club? How was that decision made to go over there? Because obviously it's a very long way away from home.
Very long way, and it seems like a very difficult decision, but it was the easiest one that I ever made. The one that I hesitate the less, because on that time I was struggling in Spain with second B teams. The last 2.5 years, they didn't pay me. There was a big crisis in Spain. The chairmen, they were terrible. They promised you big contracts to sign you, and then they didn't pay you. And it was terrible moment for me. Actually, I was already speaking with my agent. I said, look, I study, I have a career, I have a degree. So maybe it's time to start thinking about taking football more amateur, going back home where I can actually work for my life, because I spent all my savings during those years, and it was very tough. I was away from home. It was very tough for me. And suddenly, Ramon sent me a message and say, look, because Ramon was my coach a few years ago in Spain. He was my assistant coach in a team that I was on loan also from Barcelona. And I didn't speak with him during those 4 years, but I knew he was in New Zealand. I knew he was doing well. And luckily, I own everything to Ramon, because he called me and told me, look, there is this possibility that maybe you can come try for 6 months. I know it's crazy, it's the other side of the world, but you can come here, try, look for 6 months, and then you decide. And it was the best decision of my life.
And then you obviously ended up winning 3 Oceanian Champions Leagues, being the top scorer of the tournament, going to the FIFA Club World Cup. I've experienced that myself. It's amazing. It must have been a really cool time as well. There's quite a big Spanish contingent there as well at Auckland City. I know you were playing with Albert as well. Tade, I don't know if he was involved with the team yet from Argentina.
At the beginning, yes. When I left, he was coming in. Yeah, I think 1 or 1.5 seasons I played with Emiliano.
So how was the experiences of being in this Champions League and having a lot of success with Auckland City?
Island hopping for the viewers that don't know. I mean, you play OFC Champions League, you're traveling to places like Fiji and Solomon Islands and flying to very exotic destinations nobody else ever gets a chance to visit. So, but besides that, I just want to say, Ramon, I think is one of the most outstanding coaches that did incredible things in New Zealand, and I'm really looking forward to his next big project.
Yeah,
me too.
Yeah, well, he changed football in New Zealand. He changed the whole landscape of the style of play, everything. My uncle is also big in the youth development side in New Zealand still now, but we used to copy everything that Auckland City with the team like yourself and that Ramon was taking, and it was all possession-based games, bringing structure of the training to create game situations. And he actually changed the whole landscape of New Zealand football from quite a direct, rough 4-4-2 running in behind to having 80% possession. I know when we went to the Club World Cup, we had more possession than the Japanese champions, where one player cost more than the whole of our club, you know?
Yeah.
And he just changed the landscape of New Zealand football completely. And like, what was your experiences of going to like these Champions Leagues over in like the islands, and also was it in Japan, the Club World Cup as well?
Yes, the 2 times in Japan. Yeah, it was amazing. You know it well. These are tournaments that you only dream about playing when you play for the best clubs in the world. So for us to being able to experience this week only there and live in the FIFA bubble and share a little bit with the most professional environment that you can find in modern football, it's amazing. It's a massive opportunity and experience that everyone will love to live that. So to be honest, when I went to New Zealand, I felt like I went back to play when I was in Vic, with no pressure, nothing else, no have to worry with the chairman, with the press, with medias, with fan support. Everything was like natural. It was like basic. I don't know if it makes sense. Like, I play football for I enjoy playing football. I didn't
Pure.
feel I didn't
Pure.
feel happy playing pure. I didn't feel that happy playing football, going to train in that environment. Auckland City obviously is an amazing club. Everything it's run, but very professional. But I don't know, it felt pure, and I just love to be there. The teammates were amazing. I get along with them so good from the first day. It was just pure happiness, football, without nothing else, just football and football. And
Any Darren White stories, Manel?
there's a lot of stories. As Toni say, hey, you travel to Fiji, you travel to Vanuatu, Solomon Islands. The personal also experiences are amazing. To be able to see these islands and how people live the whole day. They love football. You go to Vanuatu and you have 20,000 supporters on the trees, on the roof of this, and it is amazing. It's amazing to experience because I never dreamt. There are some islands, some countries that I didn't even know that they exist, and and then you go to Papua New Guinea, and then you have the military, everyone looking after you. You train on grounds that you can barely walk, and then you go to the stadium and it's full, and they love football, and I don't know, everything, both experience, the professional and the personal, they were amazing for me, because I've never thought about living those experiences and being as happy as I was in New Zealand. Actually, it was very tough for me to leave to Belgium. It was the toughest decision of my life. When I was in Belgium after 6 months, trust me, the first 6 months, I thought every single week on giving up and going back to New Zealand.
That was exactly the next question. What was the pull to come back to Europe? Because we know about the impact that you had on Auckland City, on New Zealand football, and what a special environment that is. And again, for the audience that doesn't know, it's teams like Auckland City exist in a national league, which is an elite league, but the whole setup is actually effectively amateur outside of it. That's the constraint that it works with. But what made you want to come back to Belgium, and how did you come to make the decision?
Well, first, it's true that is amateur, considered as an amateur club, but they run it like a very extra professional club. You have all the facilities that you can have. Then the thing in New Zealand, you know that the stadiums are not. You play in smaller stadiums, and the crowds are not that big, but the facilities and the way that Ramon, the chairman Ivan, and everyone on the club, it was an amazing family. Everyone worked for everyone. I remember arriving to New Zealand, and the chairman went to pick me up with his son, and they prepare the house and they make the bed for me. The chairman and his wife, they make the bed for in Europe. This is you cannot expect that.
And then straight for a steak night Thursday, huh?
Yes. The steaks on Thursday after that training at QTSC, then Thursday night at the club was amazing. And cooking the steaks, the chairman for every one of us. Nah, honestly, I still talk with a lot of them. I met a lot of good friends also in New Zealand, and actually I have to go back because as you say, when I left New Zealand, we just won the third Champion League, and next World Cup was in Morocco, and I was very excited to go to Morocco because playing in Japan was tough. You have to win the Japanese team. But in Morocco, we thought maybe that year we have a bigger opportunity to win the first game, to be involved in the next rounds of the World Cup. But actually, the sports director that signed me in Barcelona was the one who signed me in Eupen in Belgium. So that's why at the end he was pushing to come here. It was a big project with Qatar Aspire Academy involved, and I say no honestly 10 times. So actually, I left New Zealand and I left everything there. My bags at home. I left everything. I went on holidays to Spain to come back, so I left everything, and I end up not coming back. So they had to send me, fly me my bags and everything. Ramon helped me also because I went to Morocco to see them, and he took one of my bags, but it was because the sports director on that time that he was in Eupen is the same that he signed me for Barcelona, and he told me about the project. He told me about the future involved with this project, not as a player but also at the end of my career. And I think that made a little bit the difference. And going back again probably to the professional environment, I say no 10 times. And I remember I was on London. It was in London on holidays in London, and I decided there. I said, okay, come on, let's do it. And I go to Eupen.
And then obviously now working as also with football analysis, what role do you see analysis taking within the greater framework of professional football?
No, the analysis it's I don't understand now a technical stuff with the coach without that tactical analyst in it. It's key for coaches, for players, for everyone. It plays a massive role now with everything I watch, I experience in Belgium and with the national team. It makes a huge impact for the coaches. It saves a lot of hours, a lot of work, a lot of it simplifies everything. And during the league, during these leagues that we sometimes play Saturday, Wednesday, Sunday, and we keep. You have no time to. If you want to be really accurate on analysis, you need help of an assistant video analysis, because as I say, it simplifies a lot of hours for us. And of course, you need someone that understands football and not only, as I say, a coding, a guy that is a mathematic, codes a lot, because like Bruges, for example, they have two video analysis. One that comes from hockey, and it codes you everything with two hands. It's coding the game, watching, boom, boom. It's coding the players with amazing. I'm serious. Two hands, boom, boom, coding game, watching. Yes, he knows the defensive transition, but when you ask for, or you can give an advice about solutions, what's happening here, what will you do? Then they don't understand properly the game. That was what Belgium did for the last year and a half. They create an analyst community, and we were involved in presential and online courses to learn or to teach a little bit more tactical, the tactical side of the game. That's why, because most of the analysis or some of the analysis before, as I say, they are more worried about coding everything and giving everything code, clips. Yeah, but you have to watch the game and see, okay, this is relevant for the coach. This is not relevant.
Yeah. And then as well as to trying to make it as easy and simple as possible to translate that message to the players eventually as well.
Yes. Well, mainly to the coach, because the analysts, they
Yeah, of course.
they are the ones that they always with the assistant coach. I'm the one who I'm involved also with my analysts all the time. I'm in contact on the bench. We have an iPad on the bench with the game going on with huddle replay, so we see everything in 10 minutes delay. And at the same time, I keep asking him for what happened. Sometimes you missed during the game, you miss some actions, and the analyst, he sends me directly the clip. I watch it. I say, okay, it's this, and then I can tell the coach, look, it happened this. If the coach or we didn't see it, maybe he see it, maybe he know. With the game going on, sometimes you miss a lot of things, and specific situations that you can correct also directly from the bench, that they have support with video footage, that they are very important. And also my analysis is linked to the changing room, where we have another laptop with a TV, and I receive all the codings and the instances there. And the coach also at the halftime, if he believes that it's necessary, he can show to the players some clips that to correct or to emphasize that we are doing something good and we need to continue doing this. But it has to be very specific. And for me, for example, as assistant coach, is very good to correct individual positions, individual roles, and to correct set pieces also, that I'm involved with set pieces. That's very important, because a player, you can, if you argue with a player, his perception, no, this was not my man marking, not, yes, it was you, and you enter in an argument that you cannot have. So you go direct, go here, watch the video, watch the clip, look, it happened this, maybe you can, and this, you correct things very, very easily. It's very visual for the players.
Yeah, and a little anecdote as well to kind of back up what you're saying is, we had a bit of analysis at Auckland City, obviously not with the same kind of facilities and the same equipment, but we were playing away to Otago, I think it was, down in the South Island. And we got up quite quickly at halftime, which I'd never seen before in New Zealand, on the projector, of the first half of the game. And Ramon pointed out to us, their back line is always moving across. So if we can switch the play to the other side very quickly, we have our right winger free and he can go score. First action, Tade plays the right winger and we go and score, and that's a little anecdote, and like, because you don't always see that when you're playing on the field at the eye level, so when you can change the view and see the whole shape of the team from a different level, it's
you see everything above.
Yeah, and to translate onto the field as well, as I'm still currently playing, it's very beneficial to watch, and even watch your games back and see the clips that maybe you could do better, different actions you could have maybe even worked harder. It's very important to improve as a player, and how important it is to be open to receiving the information as well, because I know a lot of players can also be a bit stubborn and be like, oh, I'm like this, it's your fault. But it's also to be open to learn and to accept information to improve every day.
As long as, sorry, Tony, the last thing. As long as you tell the player that he understands and he sees and he will see it very fast, that is for his own good and his improvement for him and for the team. So when you are happy, when you improve, the team gets better, you get better, the team gets better. As simple as that. And then professional, if you are not open towards this and you don't do what the coach wants, or you don't improve as the coach wants, you trust me, after 2 games watching the game with the
there's someone just as good as you just behind you.
Yes, you will watch all the videos that the coach
yeah
I mean, this is just that's the impact of live match level video analysis. But from a perspective where I've worked in an environment where the analysis you can deploy at a club recruitment level, data analysis, short-term, medium-term, long-term data analysis, development analysis of players, video analysis over time, all types of algorithms to evaluate players over time. The sky's the limit with what it can be used for, right? But let's say tomorrow I bring you a fish oil billionaire from Greenland. He's bought a new Bundesliga club, and he says, could you ask Manel, I want Manel to set up a world-class analysis department for a club that's going to be in the Champions League every year. How independent or how integrated would you make the analysts work? How would you set it up, Manel? What would be your advice?
Obviously, I don't understand the analysis department separate from the tactical, from the staff, from the technical staff. For me, the analysis. Then obviously you have more analysis working opponents, set pieces, and individual profiles also. But the head of analysts, the head of it has to be another assistant coach. It cannot be outside of where everything is spoken, where the tactics are made, where the trainings are made. He needs to know everything what the coach wants, what we are demanding to the players, what are our principles of playing. He needs to know everything about our tactics, because after that he will simplify and go direct to what the coach needs and what the players needs. Because I don't understand an analyst who's not involved with the staff. For me, is another assistant coach, and then you put him up and he sees the game from a boat instead of watching the game from the bench.
When I'm consulting or teaching analysis here in Sweden, one of the things I always say is your analyst should be looking at your team first.
Yes,
and they should be involved with your team, and ideally as close to the squad as possible. And also offline, they should be watching the trainings. They should be knowing their own team before they go online.
He has to be another coach, another assistant, direct. I don't understand an analyst that doesn't know what we are demanding to the players, which are our principles, which game plan we have for that week. It's impossible. How you want to deliver relevant information or correct things, or tell the coach, "Oh, coach, we are not. The plan that we have is not working." If you don't know the plan,
how do you want to analyze the opposition if you don't know your own team?
How you? It happened to me. We had an analyst that he was never with us. He was doing the opposition. He analyzed the opponent team perfect. But then when it came to maybe we can hurt them like this, like that, and you realize, you know that you are telling me to put crosses to the second post, and we have no our striker is 180 and the defenders 190. You know, things like that. No, we don't play like that. These are not our solutions. We can hurt them like that. Yes, maybe other teams can hurt them like that, but not our team with our players and with our capabilities. We cannot. So he needs to find the solutions according to our strength and our good points. Not with of course we can hurt them with crosses, and you have a number 9 inside the box, and but the ones who cross, we have. Imagine we play with the wingers on opposite leg, in switch. How are you gonna cross with the wrong foot? So that's why the analyst has to be another assistant coach for me. And then you can have some other analysts coding and just doing the dark work of hours of coding and editing and simplifying everything. That's of course there's a lot of things to analyze and to watch, and set pieces and individual profiles, everything. But the chief of analysts has to be always on the trainings, has to see the trainings, listen what the coach is correcting, listen what the principles that we are working or we want that week for that specific game. And obviously he needs to know everything. If not, it doesn't make sense to have an analyst. For example, the one we have now is not that involved with us with the coaching staff, because now he's starting and he's doing also the analyst. He's studying also with the federation, and our coach doesn't want another analyst involved. But the future is another assistant coach, for sure, 300%. I don't understand an analyst who's not involved with the team, because then the solution is going to give the information, the corrections. It's just irrelevant for us.
Yeah. And do you have any tips for any amateur football analysis that are looking to improve?
Yeah, of course. I start with nothing. Be just the big thing that also the good thing that the Belgium is doing with the analysis is that we have an amazing sharing community. Everyone shares everything. Everyone doing the courses, we share the workflow, how brushes work, underleg, how you do this, how you code this, how you prepare, how you filter the information to the coach, how you do the video, what you see first, how you do it. You code first and you watch again first, and then you code later. Share. You have to ask a lot and share and look. look, everything I have, I copy from the national team, and it's true. And all the cameras, all the software they have, I learned it from Ramon, for example. When I started assistant coach, I knew Ramon uses sports code, so I used what Ramon teach us in New Zealand. So ask a lot and share with people. Obviously, you don't have to share your game plan with with the opponent, but in Belgium we share everything, workflow, new programs, everything that you can improve, and it's better for me. I share it. Everyone can use it. You don't have to keep everything for you. No, I'm doing this, and only me. And no, it's the philosophy is now to be open and to share. Then obviously anyone see football different, and everyone has his own game plan, game model, everything. This is completely different approach, but share and be. There's a lot of free programs that you can use that they are close to. Obviously, if you don't have a lot of budget, there's a lot of free programs, small budget programs that they're doing amazing jobs. You can, with the GoPro, you can do everything. Okay, you have to put the GoPro up, and then you have to record.
Attach it to your head.
Yeah, I put the GoPro up. I had my app on my phone before the training. I put the GoPro recording with a wide angle. After the training, I download everything. I watch the training. Same with the games. Or if not, you put a guy with a camera. You don't have to code everything at the beginning, but you put my analyst. We start like that. He was filming the game, and at the same time he start coding. But he doesn't need to code everything, but you start, and then you start coding, filming, wide angle, you see a little bit what they want. And then if you have, after that, you have cameras and everything. But you have to be smart, and you have to look and ask, and you need to share how you do this, and maybe, and from people that don't, my tip is ask, be open, and copy. Because
that's very interesting to what you say, because also now I'm also involved in a little bit of the coaching side, but it also relates to copying and sharing, because I always have an issue with people who say, look, he's doing my training exercise. This is the training exercise I invented. I always go back and I always say, no, this is not your training exercise. This is football's training exercise. It's off the game now. And it's the same with the analysis, It's not your analysis. It's football's analysis. It's for the world to share, and you copy, and then you make it your own.
But of course, you make it your own, because the same exercise for you and for me, it might be completely different. If my principles are different than yours, you're gonna put a position game where you're asking some things to the players that I ask the contrary, or I ask different, or we ask. Doesn't need to be the same. You make the exercise your own. There are plenty of exercise that everyone uses, but it's not the same that one coach uses, or the corrections that you do, or the information that you give to the players, or what you want from that exercise can change completely from one coach and with analysis is the same. Why you don't? Oh, we are coding like this and doing like this. Okay, but there is not the good thing is with the analysis community we have. There is no one, I do this is the right thing to do. There is no, everyone learn their own way. And I learn watching this and looking there and asking my friends, and how do you work, and how you do this. And then with the guys that set the programs up, also they gave me a lot of tips. Oh, maybe you can do this better than that, because this takes you too much time. I asked everyone, the ones that from a sports code, that is the program that I use. Oh, and if I do this like that, I take into a lot of why you don't do it like that? Oh, okay, I didn't thought about that. Okay, it saved me 2 hours of work. And you keep learning like this. That is not this is the right way to do in analysis. That is not, because some people
best practices, but there are good practices.
It is, yeah. You have to see what works better for you. Maybe for one, I prefer to watch for example, now with the national team, if I go they send us to the stadiums to watch the game first on live, and then you watch the game on live, and then you do the analysis, and then you do the scout, and then you do the report. But first, they send you to watch live, see the environment, see the what happened if the crowd, that they're starting to lose, the crowd is pushing, they're gonna push again, they dropping back, if they change the dynamics depending of the win. You have to see this on live, and other people, they like to see code. They are, but this is not the right thing to do is one or the other one. It's the one that suits you better, save you time, and at the end you arrive to the same destiny, but in different possible ways. Some people like to code and do little clips directly. Some people like to code and then watch a game and then decide. Some people, they decide and they would. Everyone does it different, but at the same, you have to deliver the product to to the coach, and what matters and what's important to the coach. How you do it, you can do it in 10 different ways.
It's like failing and then failing better.
Yes, yes, you don't know how many hours I lost doing things wrong and this and that, and then I was, oh boy, take too many hours, and how can I simplify this, because it affects me it affects my works. If I'm losing 4 hours here and then I don't have time, and I ask to everyone, I go, how can you do this better or faster? And then with the community in Belgium, that from the analysts, we had the same, and we share a lot. Hey, how you normally code this and arrange it? Oh, I do it like that. And you say, I didn't thought about that. And say, okay, it works for me. Oh, I'm gonna try it, and then it works. Or maybe it's something that you are doing and they didn't. Oh no, I do like that. And the other one say, oh, okay, that's a good idea. And it is like that. There is no this is the right thing to do. You have to do this. Or because Belgium is working like this is the best thing to do. No, it works for them, and they have their own coding system and their own code window.
Yeah.
And it's the same language. At the end, you need to find your own language that is the same for you, for the coaching staff, and for everyone. And this language works for you. Maybe it's they use another different code window, no different language, but it works for them. But at the end, you have to give, deliver what's important for the coach. How you do it.
It's not about the process; it's about the end product.
Exactly. At the end, the coach if you give to the coach, look, coach, they play like that, he's not going to ask you, oh, how you arrive to this conclusion. He wants to see the relevant information that can prepare the week as fast as possible, and you save him 10 hours because of, with the coaches we watch, even if the analysts tell us this, we watch already 2-3 games, and the coach maybe has 4 or 5.
Could you please describe to us your exciting role currently for the Euros with the Belgian national team setup?
Yes, well, it's quite easy. I'm going to be a scout analyst for the national team, and actually we had a few ones, and they assigned us a team to follow, and we need to follow. Normally they assign you between 1, 2, maximum 3 teams to scout, and you need to travel, watch the game, and send the report way back to the chief of scouting, and it goes directly to the coach. And then if Belgium plays against that team, then you are directly involved with the preparation of that game with the staff.
Moving through your coaching career and having played at a high level and very internationally, can you think of this is on the personal side, can you think of a new belief or behavior or habit which you picked up during all that travel and all that experience, which improved your life? Something that you could give advice to others, something that is a personal practice.
Yes. As we spoke, it's to be more and more open to share, and of course to always be open to improve and to learn and learn and share and see different things. And I'm very curious on for example, I'm obsessed with new exercises all the time, variability on the trainings, and of course being 8 years at the same club. I need to refresh a lot of new exercises. If not, I hate to repeat the same things over and over and over. But not distracted, but not the principles, anything, but new exercises that can make the players be more aware. Oh, this is new today. Okay, it doesn't change our game plan, but it's a new exercise with new. I'm obsessed with that. And as I said, it's always constantly learning and improving. This is a world that it changes very, very fast, and there's a lot of people very well prepared, very, very well studied, and you have to be able to be in on those standards. And I like also to share with some friends that they play with me, coaches that play with me. Some of them now they are in top international level, Champion League, and I love to speak with them. I go, "Oh, guys, just some curious questions that hey, how you guys do this, and if this happens, what the coach does." And also when Makelele was our coach in Eupen, I love to ask him, hey, what Mourinho used to, how was Mourinho, and how this, and Del Bosque and the other one, and to share and to be open and to ask and never be close to. And there is no, as I said, there is no one right thing to do. It's your own experience, your own belief, and your own way to do things. As long as you perform, is your I don't know. This is my humble experience as a assistant coach. Is that just to be open to share, open to be curious. Don't hesitate to ask, and don't hesitate to, if things you want to change things, just ask and study and learn. And this is my my advice. Only one I can.
And then following on from that, for you personally, what are your most important coaching philosophies, systems, or ideas to you?
Obviously, based on the position game, in the playing here in Spain, the culture of ball possession and but ball possession to attack. I learned that having the ball for having it means nothing. Okay, you can. In Belgium, it happens a lot of time. You have 80% of possession, and you look at the score, and you are losing 2-0, and you don't know how. So you need to have the ball to do something and to attack. And here also, as I say, is a league that is very, very. There's a lot of variability, but also a lot of transitions, direct game. You have the systems that I feel more comfortable with are 4-3-3 and 3-4-3. That's the one. And from there, you can change and adapt to everything. Because for me, a system is the first picture that you see when you put the TV. You see, okay, system 4-3. Okay, but when the keeper gets the ball and you slide the fullback, you don't play on the back. You don't play 4 on the back. You play 3. So it changes everything. They constantly change, and then players, they play in their own system sometimes. Sometimes. We had Adriano Correa, the Brazilian who was in Barcelona and Sevilla. He was in Eupen with us this year. And he gave us himself solutions during the game that you didn't plan. And you have to adapt also. It's very important to adapt. This is okay. I love 4-3-3. I love 3-4-3, but you have to adapt to it. It's very important to adapt to your players. Very, very important. Don't be. I'm not close to. I only play this system 4-3-3. That's my system. Yeah, but if you have 3 central defenders and your fullback is not, maybe you have to change that 3 in the back. It all depends on your players, because they are the ones, as Guardiola said, they are the ones they play. They are the ones that they need to feel comfortable. And if you see them in a place that they are not comfortable, it's bad for them and bad for the team. So,
and as you said, formations are always fluid throughout the game. Throughout the game, in different situations, you're in different formations all the time.
You play 4-3-3, but on the build-up, you slide and you play with 3 in the back. So you start.
Ranieri said it. Ranieri, God bless Ranieri. He said it best. You can't buy a body to fit the suit.
Is totally the contrast. So you have to watch and see which players you got when you arrive to the team, and then if you can adapt your ideas, and you have to always be able to change fast and to be
adaptable.
And
then as well, now you've obviously been a player, been a coach, you're working as an analyst, so there's a few different positions of the sport there. What are some bad recommendations you hear in the game? That could be on any levels, could be from players, from coaches, analysis. What are a few bad recommendations that kind of come up in the profession of football?
Bad recommendations. Well, in football, it is a business, and in all business, more and more the players, they got more information, they got more data, and they from the agents and they right after the game they got the clips with the Insta Scout, the Y Scout, sent directly from the company to the players, and you have the social media and the network and the Instagram, and players have now a lot more of things on the head than football, but because so this is normal in this business, and this is for me the bad influence on these sports. And sorry if any agent is looking at me, but sometimes are the the agents that they try to be coaches and they don't give them the right advices. And then you need to know that players we are players. You see the players on TV, but they are humans and they feel and they have aims and they have and frustrations and they have problems at home. Sometimes it's not a bad thing, but sometimes you need this player doesn't want to train today. And what a shit, everyone is complaining. Oh, yeah, but speak to him why he's like that. Maybe he had this, an argument with his wife, or maybe his kid is sick, or maybe his mother. I don't know. You need to then the young players that they grow up very fast and they have everything very fast, and they become very fast, very lazy.
Yeah, well, that actually goes back a little bit. We mentioned that on a previous podcast, especially like at the biggest academies, also in Spain. We were relating it to England, that young players are throwing huge amounts of money at very influential ages, where they might be hanging out in the wrong crowd, and they haven't actually even achieved anything yet. They have not even playing for the first team, and they're making money to support their whole family. Like, there's got to be ways to kind of, that creates distractions and doesn't help with player improvement and growth.
And that's the business, and that's how you cannot change this business, but you can make sure that all the youth coaches that they have, they teach them all these things. They teach them how to deal with this situation, with the frustration, to not only we need to understand the player not as a player. He's a human. He's an individual. He's not a football player that you put him and he needs to perform. He's not a machine. Sometimes, so you need to be able to watch both sides of the human and the professional, and try to help him in both developments, professional and personal.
So and more education.
Yeah. The tie-in is intelligence, to help develop the players' specific intelligence, which also means ability to deal with life situations and the demands of the game. Because come on, people say, oh, footballers, they sit around training PlayStation. No, there's a lot to do.
And that's why it's very, very important. The youth coaches, they are I never work in youth. I work directly to professionals, but sometimes we see players that they come from a top clubs on loan, professional, and some of the basic principles, some of the body profiles that should be natural for them. No one told them no one teach them to do that. Why? Because in some clubs, this guy is fast and I'm gonna make him run fast all the time and score fast. Yeah, but you need to, as you say, teach him to learn and understand the game and read the game. What happened? If there's teach them how to think. Teach them to think. It's more important than the decision making. How to think. Teach them to be more involved in the game than just you have to do this and all the time you do this. Yeah, but if the defender do that, what you need to do? Teach them to think and to think and to think. That develops an intelligence of the game. Will be way more useful for the professional, because sometimes in professional football, it's difficult, but we have to do it. But it's difficult when you have games all the time and you need results, you need this. It's difficult to focus on individuals and to perform and to train more. We have to do, and we do them a lot, and we train individual and we perform individual corrections, individual videos, performance. we do them a lot, but sometimes you have no time to watch 27 players that you have in the squad and train them one by one all the time. You have no time. So you need to teach them before to be more smart and to understand more the game. Because I remember when I was a player, sometimes they told me, oh, you have to do this. Okay, but if the other one does that, I keep doing this and I hit the wall all the time. Okay, but you told me to do this. Hey, but it's not but you told me that, so I'm doing that. It's not working. You need to teach them to be more smart and understand the game.
It's like learning how to learn.
Exactly. And the only way to teach them like that is to do what they're gonna face on the game. So game-related exercises always.
Yeah.
To learn the game by the game. If you put them to do only possession ball, yes, but during the game and you don't attack. Okay, you're gonna have 90% of the possession, but you won't attack.
But my uncle as well, from quite a young age, he used to swap the positions around a lot of young players. So he would play strikers at centre back. So then you learn also what the movements of a centre back are, and then to use that to your advantage as a striker, and then right wingers, right backs, left backs, right wingers, like to mix it up at a young age, because that learning of different positions and formations really helps you going forward, and being adaptable and, being available in different positions, as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. Of course.
We're at the part of the interview that we call the rounder, which is kind of rounds off, and it's some philosophical questions, Manel. So here we go. First of all, define success. How would you define success, Manel?
Define success. For me, it's feeling no regrets and being happy. This is success in life.
Happiness, no.
Yeah, because then, okay, of course now trophies and victories and everything is, but this is the top point of the success. If you do what you love and you do it every day and you are happy and you have no regrets and you are always honest, this for me is success in life, because the rest, it will come itself.
Yeah, it's good.
Hopefully, yeah.
It's a very pure answer. I like it.
As long as you feel good every day on what you do and you feel like you are doing something that you love and sharing something that maybe helping others that understand a little bit more, that for me is success. Then obviously the humanity is now, it's if you win, especially in football, if you win, you are successful no matter what you do. And if you lose, you are the worst, no matter what you do. And winning or losing can be, sometimes it's just a matter of 1 centimeter or 2 that the ball goes in or hits the post, and then you are the best in the world. And one day you are the best, and the other day you are the worst. But for success is different things. But of course, the only way to measure success is by winning and by being winning. Because if not, you're going to be successful, but at home.
Manel, what purchase of $100 or less have you recently made that had a good impact of your life? Or if you really don't want to think about money, what time investment have you made that was really good?
The time that I invest, obviously with the family and my wife, is the best time. There is nothing that can change your time with your family, your loved ones and your wife. This time is priceless. This is nothing that, and it's very important to find time for it and to find, even though I work 14 hours a day, 15, and we work a lot and we are away and we travel a lot, but you need to find time for this. The only thing no one can buy is that precious time with your loved ones.
Beautiful.
And it's very necessary, because you need to, it's very important, for me, to find something, like for example, I do it with the sport and my wife, but with the coaches, every time I'm maybe the next coach I work with, it won't allow me, but I always have a rule with my coaches that they need to give me 1 hour a day to do my sport and to change my mind. Is my way to evasion and change everything. This is need to find that thing that don't make you think on football. And some people like to swim, some people something that you can go out, do your thing, and then you go back again into the hard work. And the family.
And Manel, have you had a giant billboard with anything on it, metaphorically speaking, getting a message out to millions or billions of people, what would it say and why? If it helps, it could be a quote from someone else that you've heard that you, or something you often live your life by.
Yes, for me, a part of obviously being happy and do what you love, because that is the thing that everyone would love to do. But for me, I think, and Ramon said it, and I agree with it, be demanding with yourself and with the others. It's one thing that I'm very sometimes maybe too much, but be as much perfectionist as you can, and set your standards very high all the time. The more you set your standards high, the more everyone will follow, the more things tend to get easier when you are always demanding, and your standards are high. Don't accept less than what you think that you demand. You know what I mean?
That also goes back to a little funny quote that my uncle also shared with me. He said that if you lick the lollipop of mediocrity, you'll suck forever.
Yes. In football, it happens the same on the whole club. Like if you are in an environment in a club where they have a culture of excellence, and everyone they have high standards, high kinmans, everyone, physios, everything, trainings, everyone is involved, everyone is on the player. The player gets they copy players. You know, if you arrive to a club and many think, oh, these ones are serious here, everything works, excellent, boom. Everyone copies and everyone gets that environment. You arrive to a club where the physios are late, they are not there. The other one, what is the water? And the other one is sitting there and don't watching the training. It's contagious. I mean, like, so in life it's the same. You always need to be demanding and always demanding. That will be my quote.
And in the last 5 years, especially, what have you become better at saying no to, like distractions or invitations, etc.? Do you have any approaches that have helped to maintain good time management?
It's the difficult question because I could, with the football, you know, they are not, we have no schedule, we have no the time is 24/7 and all the time. And as assistant coach, I have to be available all the time. And I say all the time. But yes, there is one rule that we have with my wife: when we eat together, there's no phones, nothing. We just eat, we speak, we share.
Oh, that's wisdom for the times. That's really good advice for anybody right now, to be honest. Phone off time in the family. We have screen-free time here as well. Yeah.
It's your rule or her rule, Manel?
Her rule, of course. Home, everything is her rule.
Manel, Manel, we've talked about a lot about levels and professionalism and the culture of excellence. Ultimately, what makes the difference in levels in the football profession? What is it that makes players, that divides players between the leagues? What is that thing? If you could put your finger on it as a scout or an analyst, what makes the difference?
Small details. The small details. The small details are key in professional football, and you think you cannot allow any small detail to slip away, because they can make the difference, even though and do everything consistently all the time. These small details, repeat them. And this is what it makes the difference for me in professional.
Are those more like intellectual details, or are they more physical details? What would you say?
All of them. We have a physical plan for all the players that they need to work their strength before, or the weaknesses before the training. Then we follow them with a lot of tests. They have live GPS, everything. After the training, they need to do also. And the guys that they are more consistent on doing that, they are not no shortcuts in life, and in football there are no shortcuts. The one who works, then of course, if you have the talent of Messi, you can do a few shortcuts. But the rest of the common world, go direct. The rest of the common world, they are no shortcuts on the training, on the diet, so the small details. I mean, eat well, rest well, be professional, do the work that you have to do, and then everything will come. And be persistent on that.
Mm.
What about how would you define? People talk about game insight or football intelligence. How would you define football intelligence?
Football intelligence is the key. It's also the decision making. It's what makes a better player, or a good player, or a top player. This is everything. Also, this is a part of the football that we don't train much, and it is key. How many young players you see with 17, 18 years old, with an intelligence, an emotional intelligence, and maturity that it's hard to find in a 40 years old person. This is the difference between, also, apart the small details. Also, that's a very good point that you just came up, because the mental side on that professional level, to hold the pressure, to be able to perform the same as you perform in trainings and in games. This is the big difference between the top players and normal players. I had a lot of players that they are amazing on the trainings, unbelievable. Put it on the game, pressure, big crowds, and they don't perform well. And in the contrary, you have players that we had some players, honestly, during this year, you see them on the training, you will never give your hand or put him on the squad. Never.
Yeah.
Players you put on the game and they make the difference. But during the week, and during the week they are professional, but they do their but at the end what matters is what you do every weekend. So but the mental is a fundamental part of an athlete, and you have to train the same: the physical, the tactical, the technical, and the mental. And is an aspect that is forgotten. They forget a lot this aspect and the coach, they have a lot of influence also on helping the players, talking with them. A lot of individual approach with the players is very important, because the mental can be the strength, but can be also, if they have problems, as we spoke, if they have they argue with the wife, and maybe they had a divorce, and maybe we had an amazing player now that he left the club because he got a divorce. He could not handle being away from his kid, and he could not be there, so he had to leave. So we are persons, so the mental side is it's the same aspect as I say, yeah? Physical, technical, tactical, and mental, and we have to train the mental side because it makes different, especially in young ages, to help with the pressure, to cope with the stress. It's not the same to go from under 19s. You join an environment professional, you change your habits, you go with players to play, you change your demandings, you change everything, and you need to adapt to that and be able to handle that. And if you don't have I think a psychologist, everything should have a psychologist within the team and the staff. Same as analyst. These two, I think everyone should have one of those. They are very important. Not all, but we think, oh, psychologists, oh, I'm sick, or it's mental, or it's no. You need to train the same that you train your body, the same that you train your skills. You need to train your mind for everything. The way you react to things, the way you approach things, the way you cope with the pressure, the way that you to visualize what you're gonna find or what you're gonna find. It's important to train that, and not many teams train this side.
You remember Betis and Ruben Castro that season when she came into the team and she had the meetings, and he went from scoring 0 goals in 10 matches to being the top scorer.
Psychologist in Betis, and psychologist. Very well known. Yeah, very good. It's you see teams that they work also for, not only individual, but for the team building, team. There's a lot of stuff to make the team cohesion against with the team, to make sure that everyone performs good, feels good on the team. Everyone understands the role on the team. It's very important that each player knows his role and knows what you want from him, what the team expects from him. So everyone has to be very clear on his role on the team. This is key to make sure that the changing room goes fluid. If not, you start with egos, with things, and it's a big problem. But this, the mental side is you should train as the same as we train physical, we train that, but mental, same.
Yeah, completely agree. That kind of go on, sorry, Tony.
No, so thanks a lot for joining us today, Manel. Thanks for the interview.
Yeah, one last thing for the listeners, where could they find you on social media, or if anyone wanted to follow you in your career?
Oh, I'm not. Lately, I'm starting to get a little bit lazy on the social media, because my wife is starting to do read more minimalism, and she's taking me. Actually, I cannot enter the room with my phones and everything, so I slept with everything charging on this. My wife is German, so that's why. Now Twitter, I have Chino Exposito with X, Chino Exposito on Twitter, and Instagram, Manel Exposito official. I had to.
Cool. We'll tag that in the comments as well down the bottom. But yeah, thanks for joining us, Manel. It was a really nice time. Really cool to catch up with you, and also to listen about your story and where you are now. And it's really also inspiring for myself personally, and also I'm sure for the listeners as well.
Good. Now, thanks to you for thinking of me, and I follow you on Instagram. No worries. I know everything. I know every step you take.
What I had for lunch.
I could not check it. People now post everything, so
Yeah.
But no, guys, thank you. It was a pleasure. Sorry if it was a little bit maybe extend. I told you, Jess, when I start speaking about football.
No problem for the both of us. I know Tony as well loves a chat.
Yeah.